What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I did the Eibach Pro truck lift on our 2016 Toyota Land Cruiser. Just wanted to show you my the initial look post install. Alright, the kit comes with front shocks and rear shocks. The front shocks are circlet type, kind of like a Bilstein 5100. They're height adjustable via a clip. The rear are just fixed shocks. The truck still has the Land Cruiser has the 275, 70, 18s, 33s on the stock wheels. You can kind of see they're still tucked in the body. Got a full-size spare underneath still. Alright guys, I'm going to show you underneath the Land Cruiser. So we'll start in the rear. See if I can show you. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a 30mm spacer on the coil. These are factory coils on both sides. Now you can kind of see it. No, it's kind of up in the bucket there. You really can't see it. Anyways, 30mm rear spacer coils here. Eibach rear shocks. Let me roll around here and I'll show you that. Alright, here's the Eibach rear shock. The rear shocks were a pain to get in. I'll show you in a second. The nut is really tucked up in there, as you can see. You have to go through the fender well to get to it. On these shocks I left the boots off too. They came with rubber boots that were just held on with a zip tie. I left those off. The rear wasn't too bad. Had to disassemble the sway bar links here. This is the KDS arm. And then loosen the shutter valves here. 3 full turns each. And then I had enough droop on the rear axle to get the springs out and put the spacer in without having to use a spring compressor. I did have to undo these brake lines here, these bolts to let it's an emergency brake to let it have enough droop. But let me show you the shock bolt. I don't know if you can see back in there, but that's about as much room as you have to work on this rear shock. So alright, for the front we just did the Eibach Pro Truck strut. It is on the second notch. You can see it right here. Second notch. Supposed to give an average of 0.8 inches of lift with the factory coils. I do have the OEM spacer on top, so I have the 0.8 plus the OEM spacer in the front, and then 30mm spacer in the rear. Here's a picture of the CV axles. Kind of hard to see on the Land Cruiser. Just kind of a better view. So Eibach sells coils. I didn't use them. So the front coils lift at 1.75 inches and the rear coil is a 1-inch coil. I decided to stick with the factory coils. This is my wife's daily driver, so I wanted to maintain, she likes the OEM ride quality. You can kind of see that poke here too. It doesn't poke out very much, it's still tucked in. She likes the OEM ride quality, so my experience on the 4Runner we had, was I kept the factory coils, and it retained most of the stock ride quality. So first initial impressions of this, it rides just like OEM but more controlled, if that makes sense. I thought the OEM suspension was really floaty, and I'd almost get car sick on long car rides, like when I went to Florida and stuff. This is definitely more controlled. It's not floating everywhere, all over the road. This is a quick walk around though. Let me show you some issues I ran into during the install. Alright, I've done countless front IFS Toyota shock swaps, installs. I've done my Tundra, which you can see is lifted with the Toyota Aluminas. I've done 4Runners with Bilstein 5100s. I've done Bilstein 6112s on various Toyotas. Never had an issue installing it on the front, except for when I got to this Land Cruiser. I don't know if you can see both front shocks did this, where you hold it to keep the shaft from spinning. They like stripped. I don't know if you can really see that, but both shocks did that. And our Land Cruiser only has, it's a 2016, so it's 8 years old, and it only has 50,500 miles on it. So I was a little surprised to see this install issue whenever I was doing the install. I had to actually go to O'Reilly's and rent the suicide coil compressors. The ones that, you know, everyone says you're playing Russian roulette with your life with, to compress the factory coils to get this top hat off, because this this top nut stripped. Other than that, that was the really only issue that I ran into. I did run into some tricky parts on the rear suspension, specifically the rear shocks. The way they're tucked into the frame rail, they were a pain to get out to, and they were similar to the front shocks, where the top nut was starting to strip as well. I don't know if you can see, right in here is where you have to go to access the rear shock top nut, and there's not very much space. You can see I can't even get 2 fingers in there. It's 1 finger in the space, so I had to buy a specific wrench. Let me go get that. Alright, so the wrench I got was this 22-inch flex head. I don't know if you can see. Just to get in the fender well like this. And then, let me grab it here so you can see. You can have enough leverage. So the Eibach kit used everything from the rear shocks. It used the bushings and the nut. You can see this shock was starting to deform too on the top. From where you hold it, it was starting to strip too. But so for the Eibach kit, on the rear you'll reuse the bushings and the nut for the shocks. On the front you'll reuse the OEM top hat, all bushings, but then the Eibach front adjustable strut has its own nut that you use. Finally, I want to mention that I was able to get it aligned pretty easily at the Toyota dealer factory to the specs that I provided. So with my Tundra, I provide them specs of 0 degree camber, maximum caster, which for my truck, it has stock arms still, so about 2 degrees, and then 0.012 positive of toe. On this one I was able to get 0 camber, 3 degrees of caster on both sides positive, and then the positive 12 toe. It drives great. Still got stock arms, as you can see, stock control arms. You can see the nut for the Eibach, and then you can't see it, but I got the Toyota OEM spacer in there. So drives great, no issues. I want to do another video once I get some more miles on it, to show you guys the ride quality. Overall, guys, I'm really happy with the Eibach setup. I want to get some more miles on it, and I'll give you guys a better review of you know, the ride quality, what my wife thinks of it, because she was really the one that I was trying to please with the ride quality. She liked the OEM ride quality. She really wasn't a fan of the way my truck rides. It's a little firmer with the 2.5 Toyota Illumina coilovers, and then the 6112s that I had before. She wasn't a fan of the ride quality. I'll insert a photo here of the Land Cruiser parked next to my truck, just for height comparisons. I think the Land Cruiser is like, I didn't expect it to be this tall, just with the 0.8 inch, you know, let's just say 1 inch, I'll round up, 1 inch in the front, the 30 millimeter, which is like 1.125 or like 1 1/4 in the rear. I didn't think it was going to make that big of a difference, but I feel like it's huge now. Standing next to it, and my wife, when she stands next to it, it just towers over her now. So I didn't think it was going to be that big of a difference, but just overall presence, I think it looks awesome. I love it. Honestly, I'm super happy. Initially, I've only put like maybe 100 miles on the kit so far, but it rides exactly how I thought it would. It's still cushy when you hit the bumps. Small bump compliance is still good. It's not stiff or jarring or you know, rough riding. It's not like a truck, I guess, you know, traditional rides like a truck. It doesn't ride that way still. It still rides great. It's smooth, plush, but the biggest difference that I'm noticing is that whenever you're hitting like concrete sections, you know, where you're kind of going like this, or you're over some rough pavement, it no longer is like floating like this over it. It's more controlled, and I don't know if that makes sense, but the floaty feeling is what was giving me car sickness whenever I would ride in the back with our daughter. So I haven't experienced that since we had the kit on. It corners way flatter. It doesn't want to feel like it's going to roll over. This thing's pretty heavy. I think it's like 6,000 pounds curb weight. Probably more than my truck, honestly. I think my Tundra's only like 57 or 58. So whenever I would take a corner in this, even with the KDSS, it felt like it wanted to fall over itself with the stock suspension, which wasn't worn out. It only had 50,500 some miles on it, but it was 8 years old. So I know this kit, there's not a lot of info on this kit. From what I researched on I Hate Mud, it was mostly people that had been given the kit free from Eibach, and Eibach did the install. They did the front struts with their supplied coils, and then the rear shocks with their supplied rear coils. I'm not sure if anyone's done the setup that I've done. I might be the first or one of the few that are running the Eibach front struts with stock coils, and then the Eibach rear shocks with stock coils and a 30 millimeter spacer. But I'm super stoked. I can't wait to keep you guys updated. I'm going to do some more videos once I get some miles on it, let you guys know what we think. We'll get my wife's opinion, and we'll go from there. So hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, I'd appreciate a subscription. And I'll let you know about the Eibach and any future plans you have for the Land Cruiser. I'm kind of not liking the tucked in wheels, so I don't know if we should go different aftermarket wheels, or a lot of people on the Land Cruiser forum and platform like the Spider Tracks wheel spacers, about 1.25 inches. Just gets it right out to the fender. So I don't know, maybe explore those options too. But catch you all on the next one. Thanks.